Hi, I'm Johnny Heller, and you're listening to The Audio Flow with Jacques. And why shouldn't you be? Audiobooks never sounded so good. The Audio Flow with Jacques.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Audio Flow. I am your host, Jacques. Happy New Year to everyone again, and I am happy to be here. I am so sorry that this episode is a little bit late, and I have a new puppy, so my time was spent with little Jax. So I apologize. But I do want to thank Johnny Heller for that wonderful intro that he did for the audio flow. So thank you so much, Johnny. You get the sound effects, the applaud sound effects. So thank you. And let's throw in a little cheering, some other laughs or something. Yeah, that's the extent of my sound effects. And you see how it got all loud? Yeah, that's fine. Anyway, thank you so much, Johnny. I love it. I love how it sounds and everything. So we are in a new year, and this episode is going to be very short. Every third week of every month, I will be doing an episode just with me, and I will be giving out recommendations for audiobooks that I listen to or some that are on my list that I will be listening to in the next few weeks. So that's what this episode is all about. I don't have any games to play with you guys because it's hard to play a game by myself. So, yeah. So, first on the list, I want to talk to you a little bit about um, a fantasy book that just came out yesterday, actually. It is Storm Phantom Islanders, and it was written by Etna Walters, a really dear friend of mine who, as you all know, passed away in September. And right before she passed, she and I had a conversation about this particular audiobook series, and her and I had a talk about who we thought would be a great fit to narrate this book. She wanted somebody that could do a little Irish, that was good with accents, of course, that was talented and kind of, was well known. And she was able to get Audible to pick up the series. And so, Karen Lynch and I both made a suggestion for Erin Mallon to bring her talented voice and performance to this book. And we are so thankful and excited that Audible picked it up. And all three books are now available on Audible. So, yesterday I took some time off and I listened to Storm, which is book one in the Phantom Islanders. And it's so funny. When the book came out, I wanted to get the book to read it, but my TBR list is longer than Santa's naughty list, and so it was just going to be very hard for me to get around to it. And so, my thing is always wait for the audiobook because yeah, it's an audiobook and I could still do things and listen at the same time. So, when I found out the book was getting made and Erin said that she got the role to play, she was hired um to narrate, I just knew I just had to wait for it. So, the wait was over yesterday and I could not be more happy. So many things I could say about this audiobook, but I will start with remembering how talented Etna was as a writer. And I was introduced to Etna through her Rune series, as most of us were, or perhaps, you started a little later with her with the Fitzgeralds. I don't know. But the Rune series, um, this series kind of brought that back to me a little bit because Runes was considered paranormal. Phantom Islanders, I didn't know it was fantasy until yesterday um, when I listened to it. And so there were just all kind of surprises there. The main character is 18, so the book is new adult, and so you get a little bit more adult content in there. And everybody that knows me knows that I enjoy my adult content. Yes, I do, and I ain't ashamed to share it with you. So the story is kind of built around a young girl who her name is Lexi or Alexandra, Alexandria. Lexi, and she is a nanny, and she's a live-in nanny, and she develops this relationship with. I don't even know if the person that she nannies for is married. He's older and he has a daughter, and somehow I missed that. If he was a single parent, he might have been. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but um, anyway, so Lexi is taking care of the little girl, and they're getting ready to go on this great trip, and they're going to be taking a cruise. And it's so funny that the girl that she is caring for loves these pirate stories. So Lexi, reads her these pirate stories, and she's like all involved with it, and it's just so cute, the relationship that they have together, her and this little girl. And then we find out about Lexi's background and things, at home with her, and why she opted to go and move in with this other family so that she can save up money so she can go to college for journalism. Yay, journalist, my kind of girl. And so while she's in Florida, um, she has a conversation with her best friend, because everybody has a best friend, and they're all talking about, the whole V card thing, which is always funny to me. Those conversations are cute. And so Lexi is she kind of overhears a conversation next door on the balcony with this guy and some other people, and uh, I won't say she was nosy, but she just overheard some stuff, and she ends up running into the guy through some type of circumstance. Um, I don't want to tell you. Well, it seems like he jumps off the balcony, and she saves him and gives him mouth to mouth and all of this other stuff. Well, we find out later in the story how they are connected, and I'm not going to tell you. I'll just tell you it's a really good fantasy story. I didn't realize it was fantasy until later, and it's just very different. I remember when Etna started talking to her fans about writing this pirate story. And I will admit, I don't think I've ever read a pirate story before. And so everybody was really excited about it. And I think the thing that I was most excited about was hearing somebody say, "Our matey." That was a terrible pirate accent, but you get the point. That's what I always think of, like when I think of pirates. But the story is so good. It reminds me of the TV series Black Sails and Vikings. I mean, you have these strong characters that aren't just men, but you have these strong female characters. The same way you do in Black Sail, you had so many strong female characters in there. Um, who really stood out and were very well respected, because not only were they beautiful, but very, very smart, very kick ass women. They knew how to take care of themselves. They didn't need a man to define them. And nothing they did was based on what a man said or what a man did. And I like that, because it really shows how we as women are, most of us. Um, we fall into that category, but still we have some vulnerability, and we still like the bad boy, of course. And so Etna was able to give us that, not only in Lexi, but also in some of the other characters. And I hope I do not mess up her name. I want to say her name is Narisa, or I should have wrote this down, but um, she's my favorite secondary character, and you meet her almost at the beginning, and you hear more from her later in the book. But just everything that I can think of, she reminds me of the Shield Maiden in Vikings. She was totally like her, and she was my favorite character in Vikings. So if you can imagine a mismatch of both of those TV shows and incorporate Etna's writing and storytelling, then you get Storm. Um, like I said, all three books are available on Audible right at this moment. So if you're listening and you like fantasy, and you like sexy moments, and you like badass heroine and you like the bad boy pirate guy, and I will tell you, he just sounds sexy because let me tell you, Aaron Mallon is one of my favorite narrators. And when you can find someone who can deliver a story that touches your heart just from her performing the words that somebody else wrote and just delivering that pacing that feels like dialogue. But not only that, she can take the male dialogue and make it sound so sexy. And I know it's so weird saying she and male and sexy in the same sentence, but if you have not listened to her before, then I would say pick up this book and you will understand what I'm talking about. So, Storm, we know, is this pirate-ish character, and I don't know what Aaron did with his accent. I have no clue what. I don't know. Again, another mismatch because it's not Irish, it's not British, it's not Scottish. It's like a mixture of something. And if I could bottle it up and like listen to that sexiness every night, I would. Like, Aaron, that would make a great for a bedtime, like, something you play in your sleep. I'm just throwing that out there. But anyway, um, guys, you're gonna love it. I would say pick up this book. It has some humor in it, of course, makes me laugh. I love to laugh. It has some good fighting and action in it. Some things that will tug at your heartstrings early on in the series. And so the good part is you don't have to wait for the next book to come out since they all released on the 16th. So they are on sale. I think it's $13.95. I don't think that's the Whisper Sync, but $13.95 is a deal. If you are new to Audible and you do not have a membership, and this is your first audiobook, I'm not sure, you can get this book for free by going to www.audibletrial.com / the audio flow. That will sign you up for a 30-day free trial of Audible membership as well as a free download, a free book. So you can get this book for free. And then while you're on the trial membership, you can get the other two. Now, I am willing to offer you another deal. So, let's say, for instance, you are new to audiobooks, you don't have an audio account. Well, I would say sign up for the 30-day trial, and I would say buy book two, and I will send you book one for free. So, it only works if you don't have an Audible account yet and you want to check out this series. I will send you book one for free and you can download the second book for free with your 30-day Audible trial. So you can't beat that with a stick. So get it today. Let's support this book. Let's support Etna's memory. For those of you guys who didn't know her, she was a fantastic person. She wrote the whole entire Rune series and also some companion novels with that. She also has a Rune's Kindle world, so if you want to check out those books, and she also wrote sexy books under E.B. Walters, so you can check her out there. That's my first recommendation of the day. Second recommendation, also in the sort of paranormal area, would be Marked the Apocalypse Assassins, Book One, written by D. Lane. That's D. Period Laine, also known as Desney D'Antoni. And this is also a new adult paranormal romance that is focused around apocalypse. The apocalypse. Duh, because it's the Apocalypse Assassin. Gave that away. But this was the first apocalypse series that I read. And yeah, it was really good because it was so different. And it's so funny, guys. When I think about zombies and the apocalypse, I immediately go to two things. One, Night of the Living Dead, and two, Thriller, the Thriller video. I know, it's weird. But those are the two things that I think about. When I think about zombies and the apocalypse, I don't think of The Walking Dead because I've never watched The Walking Dead before. I don't think about well, it's sort of think about Residential Evil because I kind of like those movies in the video game. But yeah, the first things I think about automatically is Night of the Living Dead and the Thriller video. And this is nothing like that. It's full of action. It's deals with these characters who are funny and intelligent. They're college students. Well, most of them. The main character's name is Dylan, and he is an assassin with a special group that goes around and is looking to find. Um, Gosh, I can't tell you. You should read the blurb, but I can't tell you. I'm not going to give you the background, but it's a totally different spin on the apocalypse. It's really not, it's like nothing that I've ever read before, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Um, you guys know I love my book boyfriends. I love my secondary characters. And Destiny wrote one of my favorite book boyfriends in her original series, the Ignited series, who is Alec. I freaking love Alec. And so when she started writing this book about Dylan, I was just like, are you kidding me? Where's my Alec book? But um I got over it a little bit because Dylan is totally sexy. He is cocky. He is uh he is humorous. Um I don't know. Did I say he was sexy already? Did I say that first? I might have. But um, he is just a baddie. He follows his own rules. But again, he's very loyal. He's very loyal to his extended family and people who are in his circle. And that's what I love about him. He loves his job. He's all about his job until he meets Thea, the college student who kind of captivates him. And then we see a little bit more of Dylan and more of his non. Well, no, he was still cocky. No, I was gonna say his non-cocky side, but no, he still has the cocky side. So, and does it just sound weird that I keep saying cocky? It feels weird. Cocky, such a weird word. But anyway, this story is about people who are assassins and they are off to save the world from these vessels who have been marked to help with the end of the world. That's the best way I could tell it to you without telling too much. It is narrated by one of my besties, my audio bestie, Aaron Shedlock, and my other Shiro, Amy Landon. I absolutely love Amy and Aaron working together. Um, when Destiny said this book was going to be made into audio, I told her, these are the two people you need to hire. They need to be narrating this book. And I love it because Aaron told me that his favorite type of story to read during leisure time is apocalyptic dramas and zombies. And it's totally right up his alley. And he nailed the audition and got offered the job. And also, Amy is in real life this really badass chick who is just kind of this go-getter and just strong-minded, and I think she and Thea are very much alike, and so I just couldn't imagine anybody else playing that part because I know both of these persons could see a little bit of their I won't say younger selves, but see a little bit of themselves in the characters, and that's what we always like to do when we listen to audiobooks is see a little piece of ourselves. So I'm sure it's the same idea for narrators to kind of be able to relate to the story. So if you are I would say if even if you're not into this genre because I wasn't, pick it up. It's such a good read. It's what I've learned is it's not so much the things that are going on around the story that makes the story. It's the characters in the story. That's what makes a good book. It's not um, it's a monster, a big scary monster. It's all about the people in the story and how they come together to defeat whatever the issue is. And so you will get that in this story. Best thing is I think that they are probably wrapping up the recording for the series. So if you get it, you won't have to wait forever to get the next book. But it's good for you to start. Pick it out. Get it. Pick it up. Okay, so those are the two books that I've already listened to. So here are the ones that are on my shelf and my recommendations over the next few weeks. So I'm sticking with the paranormal theme. This is another apocalypse book. I won't say that it's similar to Marked. It's a little bit different. It is still, I believe it's new adult, because the characters are in college as well, if I'm not mistaken. But it is Demon Ember, and it is written by MJ Hogg and Becca Vincenza, and it is narrated by Dara Rosenberg, and hopefully I said her name right. I think it's Dara. And I have that on my to be listened to list. I have my code. I will be listening to it over the next few weeks. I did have a chance to read the story, love the story. This incorporated some um it incorporated some creatures that kind of creep me out a little bit. But it's supposed to do that. It's not a horror book. Again, it's paranormal and more apocalypse type thing, and a race against time, against these things that are coming. And so it has some humor in there. It's got some sexy stuff in there. So again, if that's your thing, pick it up. You want to get it. I am a fan of Dara's as well. She has narrated. I think she did the Ash trilogy by Jane Washington and Jam and Eve, and she also did. Oh gosh, she did another series too, and it's totally slipping my mind. And I know it's one that I listened to already. But she did that, and so definitely go pick it up. Actually, books 1 and 2 are available on audio. So it's Demon Ember and Demon Flames are both available. So head on over to Audible and snatch those up. Also, I will tell you, my next book that I am recommending is close to my heart because I started my casting service last year. I believe it was in May or June, the Audio Flow casting services, and my third contract was with my producer, Danielle Lansrota. I hope I'm saying her name right because Lansrota. Maybe it's that. Danielle, I'm trying to pronounce your last name, but it's probably like how people mess up my last name all the time. I love you though. But my producer is also an author, and her audiobook, Right Kind of Wrong, released last week. And so I want to congratulate her on the release, and my narrators were hired for it. So big congratulations to Ray Greenlee, who was also on the Featured Voice season 1. And that's how I met him and thought this would be a great way for him to get into romance. And also Jamie Lamchick, who just got engaged over the holidays. So congratulations to you, Jamie. Both of them completed this audiobook. It is available on audio now. And what I would like to do is play a quick little sample for you. This sample features Ray as Owen, who is the main character of the story. And so we're going to get a little bit of Ray in here, and then I will tell you a little bit more about this story.
She gets in looking cheerful, unlike me. Not a morning person? She asks. Not when I have to spend it with my father. Oh, she says, still cheerful. Come on, he can't be that bad. I glare at her. Don't they teach you in Psych 101 that you shouldn't make assumptions about people? I actually feel bad as I see the cheerfulness drain from her face. I turn around, put the car in drive, and take off. Does Craig know you're with me? I ask after a few minutes of awkward silence. She shakes her head. No, not that I'm trying to hide it from him. It just didn't come up. I let out a laugh. You don't have to justify it. Okay, maybe I avoided bringing it up, she admits. I chuckle. Why would that be? It was late when we talked last night, and she nervously looks away, and I see right through that lie, and she knows it. I don't think he cares for you that much, she finally admits. I shrug. The feeling's mutual. I pause. I have to ask, though. You're on this impossible mission to fix me? I shake my head. It's cute that she thinks she can. But who's fixing him for you?
You tell her, Owen. So that was a conversation between Owen and Emily. And so Owen is kind of this playboy guy. He owns a nightclub, and he's a playboy. He's a player. I just can't say it any other way than that. And so they're having this conversation because obviously she's in a relationship not with Owen at the moment, and so yeah, she's good luck with trying to fix him. Good luck with that. Be sure that you go by and pick up Right Kind of Wrong today on Audible. I don't know how much it is yet. Haven't looked at the price because I already got my copy. But if you would like to win a copy of Right Kind of Wrong, I will be giving away a few codes. So let's see, what do I want for you guys to do in order to get that code? Let's see. Now, I will tell you, Right Kind of Wrong is considered um, a contemporary urban romance. I don't know why it's called urban romance. I don't know, but that's what it is. But it has a little bit of paranormal elements in it. So I will give you that little tidbit of information. All right, so I will be giving away 3 free codes for Right Kind of Wrong because it is my baby, one of my pet projects, and I was super excited about working on it with the narrators as well as with the author Danielle. And so, how do you win those codes? Well, all you have to do, since the scene it pretty much takes place in a bar, deals with a bar, a club owner. I would like for you to tell me your favorite beverage, your favorite drink. If you were going out at a club, what would your favorite drink be? And all I need for you to do is post it in the comments wherever you see the link to this podcast. That's how you can win. I will put everybody's name in a drawing. The random gods will select the winner, and I will send you that code for the Right Kind of Wrong. And we would ask that you would do an honest review on it. Let us know what you think. Let's see what else is going on. So, on next week's episode of the audio flow, I am chatting with narrator Jeff Hayes, who is the owner of Sound Booth. And he is so much fun. I had such a good time chatting with him. You guys will love that episode. He actually does a lot of narration for Lit RPG, and I just found out what that was not too long ago. So if you are interested in those, then you'll definitely enjoy the conversation that we had. Remember, if you are new to audiobooks and you'd like to try out any of the books that I shared with you today, you can go to www.audibletrial.com/the audio flow for a 30-day free trial membership and a free code. So don't forget www.audibletrial.com/the audio flow for your free 30-day trial and audio code. Until next time, everybody, thanks so much for joining us for the audio flow. And remember, it's love at first sound. This episode of the audio flow is produced by Firefly Productions.